What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today we're coming back for another episode of the Fight IQ show. I don't know if you heard, but the coming weekend is stacked. Crazy fights all over the place. But don't panic, I got you. I'm gonna tell you where to keep your eyes at. I'm gonna pick my favorite three, then also mention some other fights that might be worth your time. So let's get ready to rumble! As I said earlier, a long and crazy weekend of fighting. On the menu we have the PFL Europe 1 in Paris on Thursday 7th, the One Fight Night 20 in the Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok on Friday 8th, LFA 178 in Santa Cruz, California on Friday 8th, RSFC 19 in Aubervilliers, France on Friday 8th, the Joshua vs Ngannou boxing event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Friday 8th, the Glory Heavyweight Grand Prix in Arnhem, Netherlands on Saturday 9th, ACA 172 in Moscow, Russia on Saturday 9th, and finally UFC 299 in Miami on Saturday 9th. As you can see, busy schedule, gonna be hard to watch everything, so let's make the best out of it. Number 3, Dustin Poirier vs Benoit Saint-Denis, co-main event of the UFC 299 in Miami on Saturday 9th. Oh my god, I can't wait to see that one. Benoit Saint-Denis is knocking at the door of the lightweight top 3. And to do so, he will have to face the UFC veteran and the former interim lightweight champion, Dustin Poirier. Saint-Denis is 28 years old, 13-1, 13 finishes. He's a former member of the French Special Forces and started competing MMA only in 2019. He joined Brave CF the same year, and after 4 wins in a row, he joined the UFC after getting a contract in 2021. He started with a loss versus Zaleski, where he got beaten up badly but never gave up and lost only via decision. But later we learned that Zaleski was controlled positive for banned substances. So please UFC, let's clear BSD's records from that loss. Since then, he's on a 5 fights win streak, 2 submissions, 3 knockouts, including Ismail Bonfim, Thiago Moises, and more recently Matt Frivola, with a highlight reel knockout at the Madison Square Garden last November. God of War is a really explosive, powerful and complete fighter, a lot of experience in his young career and a lot of determination. But now he got a new kind of challenge, somebody that faced the best and beats lots of them, Dustin Poirier. The Diamond is 35 years old, 29-8, won no contest, 22 finishes. He entered the UFC in 2011, started first at featherweight, where he fought versus Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, Cub Swanson and the Korean Zombie. He moved up to lightweight in 2015, he's ranked in the top 15 since 2016. He beat the best from this weight class, Jim Miller, Anthony Pettis, Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, until fighting Max Holloway for the second time for the lightweight interim title in April of 2019. After losing the unification bout versus Khabib in September of 2019, he beat Dan Hooker and Conor McGregor twice. That got him a second opportunity to get his hands on the lightweight title. It was in December from 2021 versus Charles Oliveira, where he lost via a rear naked choke in the 3rd round. After that fight, he started fighting less often, once a year approximately. I think he started looking for the money fights and also more entertaining fights than real championship opportunities. He beat Michael Chandler in November of 2022, and more recently he lost versus Justin Gaethje last July, who beat him with a beautiful head kick. He's taking on a real challenge versus Benoit Saint-Denis. He has basically nothing to win from that fight, but he's showing that he's not afraid of the new generation and that he's ready to defend his ground. I see BSD getting that one. The guy is relentless, you cannot put him out, and he got himself some real power, a great kicking game, and he can go to the ground if necessary. I'm pretty sure they're both willing to stay in each other's face and that they will be ready to bang, and to me it's not a game plan where Dustin Poirier can win anymore. So I got BSD by KO in the round 2. Number 2, Sean O'Malley vs Chito Vera. Main event of the UFC 299 in Miami on Saturday 9th, and it will be for the bantamweight title. Hyped up by that one, first title defense for Sean O'Malley and it will be a grudge match versus Marlon Chito Vera. Two strikers who want to settle their score, so banger guaranteed. Let's talk about the champ, Sugar Sean O'Malley, 17-1, 1 no contest, 13 finishes. He entered the UFC after winning a contract during the Dana White Contender Series by a beautiful knockout in July of 2017. He started there with a 4 fights win streak, including 2 sensational knockouts versus Quiñones and Eddie Wineland. And here it comes, the only professional loss of Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera in August of 2020. After twisting his ankle during the fight, O'Malley had difficulties to keep fighting. They went to the ground and Vera finished the fight with ground and pound in the first round. But Sugar bounced back though, 3 fights in 2021, 3 wins, 3 knockouts. A no contest versus Pedro Munoz broke his winning streak, but then he won versus Petr Yan, the former bantamweight champion, by split decision in a difficult fight in October of 2022. He earned a title shot after this fight, where he faced Aljamain Sterling in August of 2023. He won via TKO after knocking the champ down with a perfect timed hook and then finishing him with ground and pound. He will now face a ghost from his past, Chito Vera. Vera is 23, 8-1, 18 finishes. He has a lot of experience at the UFC. He entered the organization in 2014. It took some time for him to get some recognition, despite beating some tough guys like Brad Pickett, Brian Kelleher, and also facing the experienced John Lineker and Douglas Silva de Andrade. He started to get his flow going in 2018, starting a 5 fights win streak with 5 finishes. That got him a fight versus Song Yadong in May from 2020, but he lost by a unanimous decision. After that, he fought only top bantamweights. He beat O'Malley, lost versus Aldo, finished Edgar and Cruz, beat Font via unanimous decision. Last year he had 2 fights. The first one he lost via split decision versus Corey Sandhagen, and he won via unanimous decision versus Pedro Munoz in August. Despite being ranked only number 5 in the division that got him a title shot, but I think he played his hand really well, saying around that he's the only one that beat Sean O'Malley, forcing him to make him his first title defense. I think that's a great opportunity for Chito. Still, I think O'Malley will get that one. Chito is gonna bring a lot of pressure, he's really good at that, but the champ has great movement, great timing to counter, and that way he's gonna score more significant strike. I even see O'Malley finishing Vera, being the first to ever do so, and then settling the score. And number 1, Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou, main event of the boxing card in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Friday 8th. I still cannot believe that this is happening. Ngannou is really considered by the boxing world now, and it's sending his best heavyweight at him. After almost winning versus a world champion, Tyson Fury, he's now facing another top heavyweight, Anthony Joshua. AJ is 34 years old, 27-3, 24 knockouts. He's the Olympic gold medalist from 2012, and he became the IBF World Heavyweight Champion in April of 2016 after beating Charles Martin by KO in the second round. After that, he beat Dominic Breazeale by KO in the round 7, and then Eric Molina also by KO in the third round. And then came one of his biggest challenges. He faced the legendary Vladimir Klitschko in April of 2017. And after a difficult fight where Joshua was knocked down for the first time in his pro career in round 6, he scored a beautiful KO in the 11th round, becoming new IBO and WBA world champion and keeping his IBF belt. He added another belt, the WBO belt, to his collection after beating Joseph Parker in March of 2018 by a decision. He beat Povetkin 6 months later for his first defense and won via TKO in the 7th round. Then came a difficult part of his career. He lost all of his belts versus Andy Ruiz in June of 2019. He got TKO'd in round 7 in what was one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. He won the rematch 6 months later, showing that he was back on track. He beat Pulev by KO 1 year later to defend his belts, And in September from 2021, he fought Alexander Usyk, who was coming from a weight class below and lost via unanimous decision in what was a really difficult fight for him. He wanted to take revenge but lost the rematch as well in August of 2022 by a split decision in what was a really disputed contest where he showed his capacity to adapt. He fought 3 times in 2023, won the 3 fights with 2 KOs. Of course you can discuss the level of his opponents, but still Joshua stayed really active, looking really good, and is now prepared to face Ngannou. The Predator, no need to present him anymore, potentially the baddest man on the planet. He has an incredible punching power. That's really what you can call a one-punch knockout power. He was at the UFC from December of 2015 till January of 2022, and he knocked out most of his opponents, most of them in the first round. Arlovsky, Overeem, Curtis Blades, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Rosenstruik. In March 2021, he faced Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title, and he knocked him out brutally in the round 2. In his last UFC appearance, he dominated Cyril Gane, winning by a unanimous decision and showing that he was not only powerful but also really skilled. He left the UFC, signing with PFL, who allowed him to fulfill his biggest dream, disputing a boxing fight. And for first fight, he faced Tyson Fury. Yes, the WBC World Heavyweight Champion. They fought in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia last October. He didn't win on paper, but I think he was the real winner from this fight, causing a lot of trouble to Fury, knocking him down in the 3rd round. He showed that he was able to box, to follow a game plan, and go toe-to-toe for 10 rounds with one of the best heavyweights ever. Now, this fight is going to be huge. Ngannou is going to face a really experienced opponent, active, powerful, and most important, an opponent who respects him and takes him seriously. And I'm actually thinking that's a favorable matchup for Ngannou. If he also takes Joshua seriously, gives him the respect due to such a good heavyweight, I think he's able to knock him out. We saw AJ got issues in the past with powerful punchers such as Andy Ruiz, and Ngannou is way more powerful than him. I think the key is to knock Joshua down early in the fight, making him doubt, and I think Ngannou is gonna do just that. So Ngannou for me by KO around the 7th or 8th round. So many other good fights, guys. Here is a list of a few of them. At the UFC 299, Kevin Holland will welcome Michael Page inside the organization. Sounds like a banger. Jack Della Maddalena will try to keep climbing the ranking of the welterweight division, but he will have Gilbert Burns standing in his way. Let's see if he can counter Burns' wrestling and grappling. We have also Yan vs Song Yadong at bantamweight, Blades vs Almeida to determine who will get to face Tom Aspinall for the interim heavyweight title. The weekend will start early with the PFL Europe 1 in Paris on Thursday. There are some nice fights in this event. Of course, the main event, Cedric Doumbé vs Baki. This one got all friends excited. Can't wait to see if Doumbé will deliver his promise, which is a KO in the 1st round, or if Baki will be able to take him to the ground and keep him there. Co-main is also interesting. Abduragimov, the Lazy King, versus Jack Grant. Chequina Nosso Pedro will make his PFL debut after an impressive performance at Brave CF last December, and he will face Ibrahim Mane. Don't miss that one. One Fight Night 20 on Friday, a card with the best female athletes in one championship. Janet Todd will defend her atomweight kickboxing title versus the young and promising Fedjija. Really a clash of generation there. Todd has been so good for so many years, but I see Fedjija getting that one. She's so good. Also, Alicia Rodriguez will defend her atomweight Muay Thai world title versus Cristina Morales. We have a good card on Glory Kickboxing on Saturday. Interesting heavyweight Grand Prix. Also 2 titles on the line. The light heavyweight title, Donegi Abena versus Tariq Hababes. And lightweight title, Estati versus Enrico Kehl. And if you're interested in potential future prospects from the big leagues, keep an eye on LFA 178, RSFC 19 and ACA 172. You could see some of these guys on the big scene really soon. Of course, some other fights that I didn't mention are also interesting, but I just made a quick highlighting of the best. And we're done here. Now you know what to watch this weekend, guys. As usual, punch those like and subscribe button. Go hit the comments, Telegram, Discord, Instagram, whatever you're on, and give me your thoughts and picks on the coming matchups. Enjoy the fights. I'll see you next week.
Undress me, swing with a right, but I might go lefty. I make plus with it, so don't test me. They wouldn't let me. Man's gal when I come undress me. Swing with a right, but I might go lefty. I make plus with it, so don't test me. Nah, you don't impress me, so don't test me. Nah.